My name's Chris Wilson, I'm Deputy Head Teacher here at Wilson Stewart School. We're an all-age school, 2 to 25. We cater for children and young people with complex medical needs and physical disabilities. We've got a range of adaptations and various equipment to help learning. We've got a staff of about 160 and there's currently 185 pupils on roll and 20 within the 19 to 25 cohort.
My name is Aaron Davies. I'm the ICT Operations Manager here at Wilson Stewart School, and I've been involved with the eStep project from the beginning.
Wilson Stewart School is quite unique. It is a special school. Our pupils come from all over Birmingham. They're shipped in by a fleet of about 33 minibuses. And what some of our parents miss is that footfall on the entrance. In a typical mainstream school, obviously parents can meet and greet at the gate, and they don't really have that because our pupils arrive by bus. So communication is key, and through digital technology and social media in the right methods, we've sort of identified that as an area we want to focus on to try and improve our communication, broadcast to parents, but equally communication is a two-way process, and for our parents to feed back to ourselves so our school can continue to improve. We held a parents' consultation in June last year, and that consultation identified two key areas really. The first was better and more efficient communication with our parents. And one of the avenues we've tried to address that with is with our online booking system for parents' evenings. Parents' evenings, typically we used to get about 50% of our parents turning up to parents' evening, but that meant 50% didn't attend. What we've established is an online booking system which allows parents to identify which teachers are teaching their children, and when they make a booking it cancels out that time slot. So with parents in today's world and busy lifestyles, and a lot of our parents are also carers for their children, it just made their lives easier in booking the correct time slot. And what that has seen is we actually had 60% of our parents book online, but we actually had a turnout rate of 79% on the last parents' evening. That was really key with our Key Stage 4 and Key Stage 3 classes, our secondary classes, which traditionally haven't seen as many parents come to those parents' evenings. So I think we had 74% for Key Stage 4 and 76% for our Key Stage 3 students, which ultimately will help their learning and their progress. But the second key area that the parents' consultation flagged up was the parents wanted to know what the children were doing within the lessons and how they could support their learning. And we already used Twitter to broadcast school events, but what we actually wanted was parents could see what they were doing in lessons, what the curriculum was offering, they could support with homework and various topic areas of the curriculum. So we've been looking at an expansion of Twitter which would allow our class teachers and subject-specific teachers to use hashtags within the Twitter feed so that they could see experiments in science, they can see how our rebound therapy works in PE, they can see how the physio works across the school, number bonds in maths for example, and what literature they're covering within English. Once again, parents sort of indicated that a lot of them work and are carers, they've got hectic lifestyles, and the method of social media was a really efficient way for them to be able to access what's happening in real time within the school. And that's important for our pupils because at home, having a conversation with their families about what they've done in school only supports what we do here at Wilson Stewart.
First of all, the eStep project has been very useful to us in analysing our school and working out what areas we could possibly improve on the school and taking the steps and research to work out what to do. And it's also been very useful talking to colleagues and looking at what they have done and in coming up with a plan. On top of the consultation we had, another element that we felt was important was the reach of our communications with parents, because we do have a core group who are quite invested and do spend time in school, but then we have, as Chris mentioned, a whole collection of parents who do not ever step foot in school, and it's trying to reach those. And we felt digital media, for example Twitter, is something that is pervasive across many devices, and the smartphone being something most people own, it will be an ideal target to develop communication on. So we came up with a plan to broaden our use of Twitter. We currently use it through one person to broadcast things that we do in school, certain key events, but that doesn't really tell parents what happens in a lesson that their child's in. It's more sort of general events in school. And our new plan is to get teachers using that on a regular basis across the school and throughout the school. To put that in place, we have come up with a scheme which started first of all by getting the senior leadership team on board. So we produced a presentation which identified the key benefits, the key concerns, what the outcomes will be, and presented that to our senior leadership team, who had their reservations, as you do regarding social media, because obviously you hear things in the news, concerns about how Facebook and Twitter is used, and we wanted to address those and show how positive it can be. And once we'd found a good middle ground and worked out that we're going to have to put various safeguarding procedures in place and provide the necessary guidance for teachers and pupils, we were ready to actually move forward with the plan. So the next step in the plan was to actually make Twitter accessible to our teachers so they can tweet and share what's going on in school. Now to do that, we've tied it in with another scheme we're running, which is iPads for teachers. Now the purpose of this particular scheme is to improve personal organisation and to use the iPad as a device to make their teaching and possibly personal life more efficient, hence benefiting the children and themselves, saving time. Now as part of that, we've put in as a requirement that they must use Twitter. Now initially we're hoping that they will tweet once a week, and we've suggested they do so in the plenary, because that's a good time to discuss what's gone on, take a quick photo and put it online with the class's hashtag. So that is going to be the first step, and we are currently at the stage where we've received applications from teachers and are now looking to purchase the iPads. The next step will be setting them up and then starting workshops with the teachers, which will include regular analysis and review of how we're using them, and this will include the usage of Twitter. As part of making this scheme happen, we do want teachers on board and liking the idea, and that's generally how we do things in school. We'd like everyone to be invested and see the benefits. So one of the next steps we're doing is actually talking to our management team in an upcoming meeting to discuss the positives and negatives of A, Twitter, but B, also the iPads and how they will be utilised in school. So hopefully the outcome of that will be positive, and that will then spread down throughout the teaching staff. And in phase 2 and 3 of the iPad scheme, we can hopefully push out Twitter usage even further. Another element that we are keen to address is getting parental engagement back into the school development plan this year, with a focus on communication, which will include the Twitter element. But other elements we're keen to address is the usage of text messaging and email, because we're finding more and more parents have email addresses and more would like to receive messages by SMS. So those three elements, Twitter, SMS and email, are basically part of our overall strategy to reach more parents, provide more information digitally, and hopefully eventually engage more of them. So what we have going on right now is our pilot, which obviously through the iPad scheme will see how the Twitter usage works out, and hopefully we can adjust our guidance, perhaps increase the number of tweets we're hoping to achieve, and generally see how the staff handle the load of having to tweet regularly and whether parents actually appreciate that. We're eventually hoping to get parents involved in a much larger scale with some sort of two-way communication. And on the way to that final goal, we're hoping to produce lots of material to help them get on board with the idea. So we want to involve pupils first of all in perhaps training their parents in Twitter, because a lot of our pupils know what Twitter is. They know Instagram, Snapchat, all the typical things, and who better to inform parents about the benefits. So we want to involve pupils probably through our pupil committee, and hopefully they can arrange to create some short videos, or we can work out a way for the pupils to deliver training at home and try and push their parents towards getting Twitter on their smartphones and connecting to their class. So that's one thing we will be doing. Another thing is we hope to produce videos which will instruct parents on how to download Twitter, actually follow us, how to look at the right hashtags for their class, and in general use Twitter to maximise the benefit they get out of it. And the final step will be to invite parents in for a final workshop to build on the training provided by the online videos and the pupils, and hopefully we'll see a good turnout in that. We'll also use that session for evaluation, hopefully, and to build on our Twitter scheme.
Anything which is installed in Wilson Stewart needs to have an outcome, and we need to check that outcome is beneficial to the pupils, parents and staff alike. We are hoping to have it tied in with a school development plan, and that will occur at our school development plan training day on whether staff across the school feel that as a priority area. We'll also, on parents' evenings, all of our parents that come to those parents' evenings use the iPad actually to do an online questionnaire there and then at the parents' evening. And what we will be doing is putting several questionnaire questions into that iPad questionnaire around how they're finding the expansion of Twitter and how they're able to access their classes and subject-specific areas. The final area is we have an active parents association, the Wilson Stewart Parents for Parents. And that group is specifically targeted at supporting parents. So we'll be asking those active users how they're finding it, and also how they can support other parents and maybe some of those hard to reach parents we've not managed to engage at that point.